He was kidnapped as a child, dragged in chains, sold like cattle, forced onto a death ship across the ocean. But instead of breaking, he turned slavery's greatest weapon into his own victory. And in the end, he bought something no one thought a slave could ever own: his freedom. Olaudah Equiano was only 11 when strangers stormed his village. One moment he was a boy at home, the next he was bound, screaming, ripped from his family. They shoved him onto a slave ship, and there the nightmare began. Hundreds packed below deck, chained to one another, drowning in stench and fear, bodies thrown overboard, children crying until their voices went silent. This was the Middle Passage, and Equiano survived it. But survival came at a price: years of brutal masters, whips, humiliation, and endless reminders that he was property. Yet every time they tried to break him, he fought back the only way he could. He learned to read, to write, to master the sea as a skilled sailor. And then came the unthinkable. Through sheer determination, bargaining, and saving every coin, Equiano slammed money on the table and bought his own freedom. A former slave now holding the papers that said he was free. But he didn't stop there. Equiano took his story, the chains, the horror, the survival, and wrote it down. His autobiography exploded across Britain, shocking audiences, fueling the abolitionist movement, and forcing the world to confront the cruelty of slavery. He had once been voiceless. Now his voice was louder than any whip, stronger than any master. Olaudah Equiano turned his suffering into a weapon and history into a battlefield. The question is, if he could defy an empire with just his story, what could you do with your freedom today? Let me know in the comments.